Welcome back, Tiger sports fans, for our fourth episode of the spring. I'm your host, Margaret Booker.
And I'm Whitney Wells, and we have a lot to get you caught up on after a busy week. The women's lacrosse team had a super exciting weekend, defeating Transylvania 19-4. The Tigers were down 4-2 after the first period, but came out rolling and scored 8 goals in the second quarter. Tigers scoring including 5 goals from Emily Napier and hat tricks from Abby Keene, Bria Randolph, and Grayson Campbell. Olivia Sanchez scored 2, and Maggie Little, Marley Heitman, and Bridget Driscoll each scored 1. The team moves to 2-1 record and will play this Saturday at home against Hope. The men's lacrosse team had an off week, getting a lot of good practice in. This Saturday, they will travel to Angola, Indiana to take on Trine Thunder at 12 p.m.
The softball team had a busy weekend in Raleigh, North Carolina for the Grand Slam Triangle Classic. The Tigers went 1-3 on the weekend, beating Susquehanna University 8-5 and losing 3 close games to Piedmont, Birmingham Southern, and Randolph-Macon. In the win, the Tigers had 8 different players score and recorded 7 RBIs. Kendra Butcher and Megan Asher led the charge from the mound, only allowing 7 hits. The DePauw softball team will head to St. Louis, Missouri to compete in the Wash U Shoot Invite.
The men's tennis team traveled to Naperville, Illinois this past weekend to take on the North Central College. The Tigers won their first match of the season 6-3. On the doubles courts, the duo of Ryan McCook and Thomas Partridge dominated, winning 8-4. Cole Mexter and Hudson Mosher won 8-6. In singles, the Tigers took control, winning in 4 of the 6 matchups. On Saturday, they traveled to St. Louis, Missouri, and lost a tough battle to Wash U 9-0. They will play Hanover College on Wednesday and then begin conference play this week, taking on Oberlin College.
The women's tennis team played North Central College as well, losing 2-7. The singles matchups were very tough, but in doubles, the duo of Alex Preston and Valerie Doherty went on to win 8-6. Kat Wilder and Ellen Gardner were the other doubles duo, and they pulled out a gritty 8-7 win, which led them to becoming NCAC Athletes of the Week. Congrats, ladies. The women's team will begin conference play at Oberlin College on Saturday.
The men's and women's track and field teams had members go to the Polar Bear Final qualifier at Ohio Northern this past weekend. Sophomore Bennett McCorsey qualified for the NCAA Division III Indoor Track and Field Championship for shot put. This will take place March 10th and 11th. Good luck, Bennett. With the indoor season coming to a close, the Tigers are getting close for outdoor season. Both the men's and women's teams will travel to Rose-Hulman for the Early Bird Invitational on March 18th.
The baseball team took a short trip to Bishop Chatard High School in Indianapolis, Indiana to play Manchester University in 3 games. The Tigers ended up going 2-1 on the weekend after a tough first game, losing 12-5. They bounced back and won 11-8 and then 10-8 on Sunday. In the loss, the Tigers were led by Ben Greiner, who scored 2 runs, and Cam Macon, who had 2 RBIs. Now we go to Joey Webster for the TSN Game of the Week.
The baseball team bounced back from the loss and won 2 games and had some pretty crazy performances. Eli Bell and Hunter Herbeck each hit a home run, and Danny Glimco hit 2. Glimco also recorded 4 RBIs this game. On the mound, Dylan Parrott, Johnny Curry, and Nathan Fackel had 0 hits against them. On Sunday, for Game 3, the Tigers won 10-8. If scoring 2 home runs on Saturday wasn't enough, Danny Glimco hit another homer, his 12th career for DePauw. Cam Macon and Glimco both scored 3 runs each for the Tigers. Our very own Griffin Albright was able to talk to Danny Glimco about the awesome weekend.
Welcome back, Tiger sports fans. This is Griffin Albright, and I'm here with NCAC Athlete of the Week, Danny Glimco. Danny, thank you for joining me.
Hi, Griffin. Thank you for having me.
So just to start off talking about this weekend, coming into the weekend, you were slumping a little bit. You're in a bit of a cold spell for the first 2 weekends of the year. You come in 5 hits on the week, including 3 big home runs, including the walk-off in the 3rd game. What changed for you? What was different in your preparation and execution against Manchester this weekend that got you out of the slump?
Yeah, sure. First 2 weekends of the year, I was a little cold. Just getting adjusted to live pitching, but what I really focused on this week as I came into the game against Manchester was staying on top of the baseball. A lot of things in terms of hitting. I know you're a pitcher, so you're not familiar with all the hitting things we do over there. A lot of the things are what we call real versus feel. So I was really trying to think like hands above the hands, barrel above the hands, almost sort of feel. And I was really just trying to stay on top of the balls, and then didn't really turn into ground balls or anything like that. A lot of my balls still had pretty high flights, but I was really focused on staying on top of the ball, and it translated really well this weekend.
Mm-hmm. So it was more of a mechanical thing, something you worked out in the cage and practice a little bit, kind of a mental cue.
Yeah, sure, more of a mental cue. I wouldn't say I changed much things mechanically, but just in terms of seeing the ball, I was just trying to hit the top half of the baseball.
Gotcha. Okay, well, whatever you did seemed to work. You had huge games, nothing bigger than Game 3 when you had the big walk-off home run. Can you just take me through the feelings of that, what it meant to you, especially coming through all the hardships that you had in the previous weekends? What it meant being you to round third, coming home, touching home plate, and winning the game with all your teammates surrounding you?
Yeah, sure. Well, first off, it was awesome. It was a great experience. I don't think I've ever hit a walk-off hit or anything, but to have it be a two-home homer was even cooler. I was just hunting fastball. Fastball showed up, put a good swing on it, and then I saw the center fielder turn his back and start running, and I pretty much knew it was gone from there. And and then I rounded the bags. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of celebrating with a bat flip or anything like that, but it was a really good feeling, and then it was really good to have everyone embrace me when I came home. Had to make sure to keep a helmet on and everything. Didn't want to get called out or anything like that. So I was focused on that a little bit. Blake was, Coach Allen was in my ear, and he was saying, make sure you keep your helmet on. So I was like, all right, keep my helmet on. Then it was really fun to celebrate with everyone. A little bit of water show. So
Yeah, it was awesome. The celebration was great. And everyone was just waiting on you to break out again, looking for the Danny Glimco of last year. Finally got to see it against Manchester. But hitting the home run, hitting wasn't the only thing that you did that day. You had huge diving catch in the outfield, probably the craziest catch I've ever seen. You had stolen base to set up, what was it, the tying run?
Yep.
Stole third. Then you had
throwaway, then I
tying run, throwaway. Yep, you scored on that. And then you had the inning where you come in just straight from the outfield, pretty much. You come in 1, 2, 3, strike 2 guys out. Then you go out and hit the walk-off home run. Of those 4 things, probably an obvious answer here, but what was your favorite, and what was it like being able to just do everything in that game?
Yeah, it was awesome. It's a lot of fun having essentially the outcome of that game in my hands. I really wanted that opportunity to be able to pitch and close out the game. Then also I ended up being lucky enough to get in at bat to seal our victory. Like you said, is an obvious answer. The home run was the most exciting, but coming in and pitching like that kind of got my mentality or like my adrenaline pumping so much so that I wasn't like overthinking my at bat. I was like, all right, let's just swing. It kind of settled me in because I already had that super intense situation, and like that situation of having that hit in the bottom of the ninth didn't feel quite as intense. So the whole compilation of things that happened kind of set me up well to hit that home run. So it was. I liked them all. All experiences were awesome, but the home run was obviously the most exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. That was awesome to see. For me personally, being there was really cool. So going into this weekend in Kentucky, what are you looking to build on just in terms of what you did this weekend and going forward to keep your hot streak going?
Yeah, for sure. I had a lot of long balls this weekend, but we still had quite a few strikeouts. So all I'm really trying to do is put our team in position to win, and limiting my strikeouts will really put us in a better position to win. I need to get a little bit shorter with 2 strikes, put some balls the other way. But staying focused, trying to keep that same really good feel, stay on top of the baseball. Hopefully carries over against Transylvania and Wisconsin and Oshkosh this weekend. Hopefully we come home with a sweep instead of 2 wins. Hopefully win them all this weekend.
Sounds good. Looking forward to seeing how that goes. Good luck to you. Thank you guys for watching. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Griffin.
And that will do it for this episode of Tiger Sports Nation. Once again, I'm Margaret Bookert.
And I'm Whitney Wells, and as always,
Roll Tigs!